No player in NBA history turned competition into personal warfare quite like Michael Jordan. To most, basketball is just a game. To Jordan, it was survival, a battle, a stage for vengeance. From his earliest days in North Carolina to becoming a 6-time NBA champion, Jordan built a legacy not only through greatness, but through grudges. He thrived on slights, real or imagined. Every stare, every foul, every whisper behind his back, Jordan didn't just hear it, he stored it, filed it away. And the next time he met you, you paid for it. Because Michael Jordan wasn't just trying to win. He was trying to humiliate you. He didn't want to beat you by one. He wanted to break you, take your will, your soul. Then smile as he walked away with your season and your pride.
Sellers has Jordan. Jordan with 2 seconds to go, puts it up. Score at the buzzer! Michael Jordan has won it for Chicago!
And when someone really gave him a reason to hate them, that's when Jordan became something else entirely. These aren't just tough matchups or playoff foes. These are the men who, through disrespect, trash talk, or just the wrong look at the wrong time, unlocked the darkest part of Michael Jordan's mind. These are the players Michael Jordan hated the most. Player 1, Isiah Thomas, the ultimate enemy. For Jordan, no rivalry was more bitter, no name more personal. Isiah Thomas wasn't just an opponent. He was the face of everything that tried to keep Michael down. In the late 1980s, the NBA ran through Detroit. The Bad Boys Pistons weren't just dominant, they were violent. Elbows, takedowns, hard fouls that blurred the line between basketball and assault. And Isiah Thomas was their leader. Cold, calculated, smiling through every body check. When Jordan's Bulls rose through the Eastern Conference, it was Isiah's Pistons who stopped them, 3 years in a row. And they didn't just beat the Bulls, they targeted Jordan. They created the infamous Jordan Rules, a brutal defensive scheme built around one goal: punish him physically every time he touched the ball, make him regret coming into the lane. And it worked. Year after year, the Bulls fell. And each time Isiah led the way, talking, taunting, twisting the knife. But Jordan never forgot. In 1991, the Bulls finally broke through, sweeping the Pistons in the Eastern Conference Finals. And how did Isiah respond? He walked off the court with 7 seconds left. No handshake, no respect. A final act of pettiness that burned into Jordan's soul. To this day, the hate still lingers. When asked about Isiah, Jordan once said,
"Yeah, you can show me anything you want. There's no way you can convince me he wasn't."
And perhaps nothing says more than what came next. In 1992, when the greatest basketball team ever assembled, the Dream Team, was put together, Isiah was left off the roster. Jordan never admitted to blocking him, but everyone knew. Player 2, Reggie Miller, the trash talk king. Some players tried to match Jordan's game. Reggie Miller tried to match his mouth. Trash talk was Reggie's weapon of choice. He wasn't stronger, he wasn't faster, but he was fearless and loud. And Jordan? He didn't take kindly to being barked at. The rivalry started early. In one of their first matchups, Miller hit a big shot and chirped at Jordan on the way back down. Bad move. Jordan exploded and dropped 20-plus points in a single quarter. After the game, he gave Reggie a new name: Don't Ever Trash Talk Black Jesus. Reggie Miller wasn't just a pest, he was persistent. Year after year, his Indiana Pacers met Jordan's Bulls in gritty, physical battles. And none were bigger than the 1998 Eastern Conference Finals. That series went the full 7 games. Miller hit clutch shots. He pushed, he shoved. He even shoved Jordan to the ground in Game 4 before hitting a game-winning 3. But Jordan never flinched. In Game 7, with everything on the line, he delivered again. The Bulls advanced, the Pacers went home. And Reggie? He was left watching Jordan walk off one last time. To this day, Reggie Miller says he loved battling MJ. But Jordan? He respected Reggie's fire, but never forgave the flames. Player 3, Clyde Drexler, the offended ego. Sometimes Michael Jordan didn't need a reason to hate you. Just being compared to him was enough. In 1992, the media called Clyde Drexler the closest thing to Jordan. Same building, same position, same explosiveness. Heading into the NBA Finals that year, the hype was everywhere. Jordan versus Drexler. That was all it took. Jordan didn't say much.
Michael indicating he can't believe it. We're
He just went to work. Game 1 of the NBA Finals, Jordan dropped 35 points in the first half. He hit 6 three-pointers, turned to the scorer's table, and gave the now iconic shrug. It wasn't arrogance, it was sarcasm. He was saying, "This is who you wanted? This guy?" The series wasn't close. Chicago won in 6. Jordan averaged over 35 a game. Drexler faded, and the comparison died. But the story didn't end there. Years later, in interviews, Jordan still made it clear he never liked that Drexler was mentioned in the same breath as him. Clyde was a threat, but me being compared to him, that offended me. The truth is, Clyde Drexler was a great player, Hall of Famer, champion, Olympic gold medalist. But he made one mistake. He let people say he was on Jordan's level. And once you did that, there was no way out but down. Player 4, Jerry Krauss, the betrayal. Within most of Jordan's enemies wore different jerseys. Jerry Krauss wore a Bulls one. As the general manager of the Chicago Bulls, Krauss helped build the dynasty. He drafted Scottie Pippen, traded for key role players, hired Phil Jackson. But for Michael Jordan, none of that mattered. Because somewhere along the way, Krauss forgot his place. Krauss started seeking credit. In interviews, he famously said, "Organizations win championships." Jordan heard that, and he took it personally. To MJ, it wasn't about who built the team. It was about who went to war every night. And Jerry Krauss, he was trying to stand on the shoulders of giants and act like he was taller. Jordan mocked him constantly. Publicly, he'd call him crumbs, tease his weight, even rip him during team flights.
Those are the pins you take to keep it short. Those sides here.
Privately, he resented Krauss's efforts to phase out Phil Jackson and eventually break up the team. When the Bulls won their 6th title in 1998, it should have been the beginning of a victory lap. Instead, it was the end. Because Krauss had already decided it was time to rebuild. Jordan was out, Phil was gone, Pippen was traded. Why? Ego. To this day, people debate whether Krauss was right to plan for the future. But Jordan? He never saw Krauss as a builder. He saw him as a betrayer, not an enemy on the court, but one inside the walls. And in Jordan's world, that might be the worst kind of enemy of all. Player 5, Gary Payton, the laughable threat. Some players challenged Jordan physically. Gary Payton tried to challenge him mentally. Known as the Glove, Payton was one of the best perimeter defenders the NBA had ever seen. He was tough, smart, loud. And when he met Jordan in Detroit and the 1996 NBA Finals, he made it clear he wasn't backing down.
Payton and Jordan having some words, face to face.
Through the first few games, the Bulls dominated. But in Game 4, Payton was finally assigned to guard Jordan full-time. Seattle won. Payton got physical, bumping, leaning, talking. And it worked, sort of. But then came the last dance. In the documentary, Gary Payton recalled his finals performance proudly, saying he believed he wore Jordan down. That's when the editors cut to Jordan, watching the interview on an iPad. He chuckles, looks up, and says,
I had no problem with the glove.
It was brutal, dismissive. The kind of reaction you give to someone who thought the fight was mutual. The truth? Payton tried. He gave Jordan one of the tougher looks he'd seen in the finals. But Jordan didn't feel threatened. He felt annoyed that someone thought they could write their name next to his. In the end, the Bulls took the series in 6. Another ring, another MVP, another shutdown attempt denied. And Jordan? He walked away laughing. Because if you made him angry, he might destroy you. But if you made him laugh, that meant you were never really in the game. Player 6, Bradford Smith. The imaginary enemy. Most players on this list made the mistake of challenging Michael Jordan. Bradford Smith? He made the mistake of having a good game. Smith wasn't a star. He wasn't a rival. He was a quiet second-year guard on a struggling team. But on March 19, 1993, something unthinkable happened. Smith dropped 37 points on Michael Jordan. And for a moment, the world tilted. After the game, Jordan told reporters that Smith had come up to him and said, "Nice game, Mike." That was all Jordan needed. He took it personally, again. The very next night, the Bulls had a back-to-back against Washington. Jordan walked into the arena and told teammates he'd score 37 points in the first half. He nearly did. He dropped 36 before halftime. Smith? Shut down. Forgotten? Humiliated. But here's the twist. Years later, Jordan admitted, Bradford never said it. The quote, the motivation? He made it up, because that's how far Jordan would go. If no one disrespected him, he'd invent disrespect. He'd turn imagined slights into blood feuds, create enemies out of thin air, just to stay sharp. And Bradford Smith, he was never a threat. But in Jordan's mind, for 24 hours, he became the most important man on earth. Michael Jordan didn't just beat his rivals, he made sure they remembered who beat them. Paul Pierce once tried to block LeBron's path, but Isaiah Thomas tried to break Michael Jordan's legacy, and for that, he became target number one. From trash talkers like Reggie Miller to quiet scorers like Bradford Smith, it didn't matter who you were. If you disrespected Jordan, or if he thought you did, he came for you. And when he came, he didn't just want to win. He wanted to crush your confidence, shut you down, make sure the world knew you weren't on his level. He kept score. Every slight, every shove, every headline. And in his mind, greatness wasn't just measured in rings or stats. It was measured in revenge. This has been Game 7 Stories. Subscribe for more untold rivalries, dramatic collapses, and unforgettable moments from the world of basketball. And remember, every legend has enemies, but only one turned them into fuel and burned through all of them.